하준아 됐잖아. 아 꺼졌어? 아니. 됐 아니야. Chapter 3.
나 빨리 가야지. 하고 있어?
내 머리 아파.
왜 머리가 아프지?
엄마, 머리가 너무 아파.
왜?
머리 너무 아프다고. 머리 너무 아파.
이거 빼고 들어 그러면은.
Battle axes. There was a noise in the hall. Voices. Let's hide, said Annie. Said Jack. I gotta check something first. Hurry, said Annie. It'll take just a second, said Jack. Hold this.
어서.
He handed Annie the
어서
flashlight.
와.
He tried to lift a helmet from a shelf.
너 이거 지나갔다 빨리 앉아.
He bent over and
빨리
dragged the helmet
앉아.
over his head. The visor slammed
어서.
shut.
엄마는 내
Forget it.
뱃살도
It was
아니야.
worse than having a fight back. I
앉아 여기
gotta check
앉아.
on something first.
빨리.
Hurry, said Annie.
거기
It'll take just a second, said Jack.
아니야
Hold
이리
this.
와. 엄마도 이거 생각 많이 쓰잖아. 빨리 와.
He tried to lift a helmet from a shelf. It was too. Let's hide, said Annie. Wait,
아니야 똑바로
said
앉아.
Jack.
빨리.
I gotta
어서.
check on something first.
어허.
Hurry, said Annie.
하준아.
It'll take
어서
just a
앉아봐.
second, said Jack.
일로 와봐.
Weapons. On shields, spears, swords, crossbows,
앉아.
clubs, battle axes. There was a noise in the hall. Voices. Let's hide, said Annie. Wait, said Jack. I gotta check on something first. Hurry, said Annie. It'll take just a second, said Jack. Hold this. He handed Annie the flashlight. He tried to lift a helmet from a shelf. It was too heavy. He bent over and dragged the helmet over his head. The visor slammed shut. Oh, forget it. It was worse than having a 5-year-old on your head. More like having a 10-year-old on your head. Not only could Jack not lift his head,
어서
he
사운드만 들면
couldn't
안
see
돼.
either.
빨리.
Jack! Annie's voice sounded far away.
빨리.
Voices are getting closer. Turn off the flashlight.
그거 왜 닦고
Jack's
입에
voice
넣는
echoed
부분인데.
inside the metal chamber.
빨리.
He struggled to get the helmet
자, 앉아.
off.
자,
Suddenly,
빨리.
he lost his balance and went crashing
어디야?
into other pieces of armor. The metal plates and weapons clattered. Turn off the flashlight. Jack's voice echoed inside the metal
보여가 어디
chamber.
나갔다.
He struggled to get the helmet off. Suddenly, he lost his balance and went crashing into other pieces of armor. The metal plates and weapons clattered to the floor. Jack lay on the floor in the dark. He tried to get up, but his head was too heavy. He heard deep voices. Someone grabbed him by the arm. The next thing he knew, his helmet was yanked off. He was staring into the blazing light of a fiery torch. Chapter 6. Ta-da! In the torchlight, Jack saw 3 huge men standing over him. One with very squinty eyes held the torch. One with a very red face held Jack. And one with a very long mustache held on to Annie. Annie was kicking and yelling. "Stop!" said the one with the very long mustache. "Who art thou?" said the one with the very red face. "Spies, foreigners, Egyptians, Romans, Persians?" said the squinty-eyed one. "No, you dummies," said Annie. "Oh, brother," Jack muttered. "Arrest them," said Redface. "The dungeon," said Squinty Eyes. The guards marched Jack and Annie out of the armory. Jack looked back frantically. Where was his backpack? "Go," said a guard, giving him a push. Jack went. Down they marched, down the long dark hallway. Squinty, Annie, Mustache, Jack, and Red. Down a narrow, winding staircase. Jack heard Annie shouting at the guards. "Dummies, meanies, we didn't do anything." The guards laughed. They didn't take her seriously at all. At the bottom of the stairs was a big iron door with a bar across it. Squinty pushed the bar off the door. Then he shoved at the door. It creaked open. Jack and Annie were pushed into a cold, clammy room. The fiery torch lit the dungeon. There were chains hanging from the filthy walls. Water dripped from the ceiling, making puddles on the stone floor. It was the creepiest place Jack had ever seen. "We'll keep them here till the feast is done, then turn them over to the Duke," said Squinty. "He knows how to take care of thieves." "There'll be a hanging tomorrow," said Mustache. "If the rats don't get them first," said Red. They all laughed. Jack saw that Annie had his backpack. She was quietly unzipping it. "Come on, let's chain the two of them," said Squinty. The guards started toward them. Annie whipped her flashlight out of the pack. "Ta-da!" she yelled. The guards froze. They stared at the shiny flashlight in her hand. Annie switched the light on. The guards gasped in fear. They jumped back against the wall. Squinty dropped the torch. It fell into a dirty puddle on the floor, sputtered, and went out. "My magic wand," Annie said, waving the flashlight. "Get down, or I'll wipe you out." Jack's mouth dropped open. Annie fiercely pointed her light at one, then the other. Each howled and covered his face. "Down, all of you, get down!" shouted Annie. One by one, the guards lay down on the wet floor. Jack couldn't believe it. "Come on," Annie said to him. "Let's go." Jack looked at the open doorway. He looked at the guards quaking on the ground. "Hurry," said Annie. In one quick leap, Jack followed her out of the terrible dungeon. Chapter 7. A Secret Passage.
6 아니야? 맞지?
Annie and Jack raced back up
7
the
맞아?
winding stairs and down the long hallway. They hadn't gone far when they heard shouting behind them. Dogs barked in the distance. "They're coming!" Annie cried. "In here," said Jack. He shoved open a door off the hallway and pulled Annie into a dark room. Jack pushed the door shut. Then Annie shined her flashlight around the room. There were rows of sacks and wooden barrels. "I'd better look in the book," said Jack. "Give it to me." Annie gave him the flashlight and his backpack. He pulled out the book and started tearing through it. "Shh," said Annie. "Someone's coming." Jack and Annie jumped behind the door as it creaked open. Jack held his breath. A light from a torch danced wildly over the sacks and barrels. The light disappeared. The door slammed shut. "Oh, man," whispered Jack. "We have to hurry. They might come back." His hands were trembling as he flipped through the pages of the castle book. "Here's a map of the castle," he said. "Look, this must be the room we're in. It's a storeroom." Jack studied the room in the book. "These are sacks of flour and barrels of wine." "Who cares? We have to go," said Annie, "before they come back." "No, look," said Jack. He pointed at the map. "Here's a trap door." He read aloud. "This door leads from the storeroom through a secret passage to a precipice over the moat." "What's a precipice?" said Annie.
don't go
"I don't
back.
know. We'll find out," said Jack. "But first we have to find the door."
여기 뭐야?
Jack
아니야.
looked at the picture
임시
carefully.
저장,
Then he shined the
일시 정지할까?
flashlight around
네.
the
들고 가서 읽을래?
The floor of the room
잠깐만,
was made
그러면.
of stones. The trapdoor in the picture was 5 stone.
가. 나폴레옹이야?
어떻게?
I know. 하준이 맘, 와이너리.
나 나폴레옹 아닌데.
책 열었어?
내 선생.
내 선생이 뭐야?
내 선생.
여기 앉아.
한숨도 빼주라.